Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a Buzzwole in the Open Master League. This is a very decent fighting type Pokemon for this kind of meta. You most likely already saw my video about the Shadow Machamp for this meta as well, which was a very interesting one, as you're going to have here now the Buzzwole onto this meta. It's going to be a little bit tricky to get this Pokemon into the right matchup, because there are also a lot of wrong matchups. You're going to talk a little bit about this one later as well, so you're going to see here the opponent's Dialga against us. You see me going to my own Dialga so we get more energy, as you're going to be able to go for an Iron Head against the opponent's Mamoswine. I didn't expect the opponent to go into their Mamoswine. That's the main reason why I went to my Dialga. So you can still go into my Buzzwole. Now we're going to get walled here by the Dragonite, but we still have the shield advantage in this matchup, allowing us to go for one lunge. Of course, all of our moves are going to be resisted against the Dragonite, but you can go for two of them right now, which is going to put them super low. We still have two shields left. They are double debuffed right now. They still have to go for a charge move here, and this Dragon Claw, thanks to the two debuffs, is not going to be able to knock me out, and I can knock them out here, even though it was a horrible matchup. Buzzwole coming in clutch, and even with like two shields there, we're going to easily be able to win this game. They're going to forfeit this one. We're going to talk a little bit about Buzzwole. Buzzwole has some very decent matchups because there are a lot of steel type Pokemon available, also like ice type Pokemon like this Mamoswine here. But I feel like this team itself most likely didn't really make like the most sense for it now. After looking at it, like, I thought I would see way more Ho in the lead or whatever, but now I encounter so many Mamoswine in the lead, so many Dialga in the lead, that I feel like if I used it in the lead for this team, it would have been way better for me. Especially if you win the lead with this Pokemon, you're going to be able to go for lunch for whatever wants to come in, which is really beneficial for you, as you're going to be able to go ahead and debuff the opponent with that one, and they cannot really swap out of this. Here we're going to see the opponent being forced to go for one Draco Meteor, which should help us out most likely with our own Dialga right now, being able to farm them all the way down before they can go for another charge move. But you see me here throwing a charge move because they definitely would have been able to get to a Draco Meteor, and even though they're double debuffed, it still would have hurt quite a bit. So we're going to be able to now knock them out there. But yeah, Buzzwole itself has also a lot of horrible matchups, like the Giratina here. Giratina is one of the worst possible matchups for Buzzwole. All moves are resisted. The counter plus the other charge move even double resisted, and here we're going to see a very great swap by the opponent. Was the only way of me losing this match up there if they swapped into their Mamoswine there just to sack that one, and they win here with a 1 HP in a dream. Very lucky for them, of course, but very good game there. It's a very tricky Pokemon to deal with. Like, honestly, I went a total of 8 and 7 with this team, so like it definitely did work out. I swapped later on the lead for Mewtwo instead of the what's called Dialga. I went for Mewtwo lead, and Mewtwo lead definitely worked out a little bit better than the Dialga lead itself. Wouldn't really recommend you to use Mewtwo as a safe swap in the current meta as well. It's something I kind of learned by trying it out here on the hard way as well, because there were some matchups, I don't even put them all in there, where I completely got hardwood in the lead and then had like something like an Yveltal in the back. And your Mewtwo, of course, doesn't really have anything against Yveltal, so you kind of get hardwalled a lot with Mewtwo as a safe swap. Here we're going to be able to knock out the opponent at least with a Side Strike against them, and you're going to see now what's coming in against us. We are in a definitely decent spot here, as you're going to see the Dragonite coming in, and we're going to see the Dragonite going out immediately again, as the Mewtwo can go for another Side Strike, knocking them out. In comes the Groudon, and we can go ahead and go for another Side Strike against the opponent here, which will allow us to put them in a very low range. I can go to my Dialga, they're forced to go for one Precious Blade, and I know that they're going to be able to now only go for one Fire Punch really against me before I knock them out, and they are deciding to forfeit their one Fire Punch. It would have been enough for me, of course, to survive that there. Next opponent, we're going to see a Zacian in the lead here. We're going to stay in here and go for a one Iron Head and then try to swap out later on, but they're actually going to go ahead and go straight for their own charge move, which is going to be the Close Combat. Very smart decision by them, because it forces me at least to shield. Otherwise, I just throw a charge move and get out of this matchup without shielding. Like this, I'm going to try to catch a Close Combat, which did not work out whatsoever. So I'm going to stay in here again to try to get the final shield by the opponent as well. With my Dialga here, going to go for the Iron Head against them, as this will be enough to knock them out, theoretically, of course. But they're going to go ahead and go now for the charge move against my Mewtwo when I swapped into that one. So we're going to be able to catch a charge move, which is really nice. As we see a very Rayquaza coming in, allowing us to go for another charge move here. This Rayquaza going to definitely take a lot of damage here from our Mewtwo. Rayquaza is a very squishy boy, as his breaking swipe is needed going to knock us out. One more fast move is enough to knock us out, and we can go back into our Dialga trying to farm up extra because I have to get to another charge move against the opponent's Zacian. Zacian would be definitely a horrible matchup for our Pokemon in the back, which is going to be our Buzzwole, and at this point of time I know already this game is over. There's nothing I can really do here anymore because it's Lugia going to be able to finish the job here and going to be able to knock me out. But no, the opponent going to swap out here. For whatever reason they decided to swap out into their Zacian here. We can take one wild charge and we can retaliate with this incoming superpower. And now we have a Draco Meteor Stored. And now we're going to have the match up here as well. We're going to be able to take this Sky Attack because they zero bubble it and they want to get more energy here, but this is totally fine for us as we can go ahead, go for the huge nuke move, and this is going to be easily enough to knock out the opponent's Lugias, and this is going to be a very good game. Next opponent, let's take a look at this one. We're going to see a Zacian in the lead. A very interesting one here for us. Again, we're going to stay in here and let's see what the opponent is going to do. They're not going to throw this time around, so we're going to be able to go ahead and go for an Iron Head first. They can let this move go through, but they don't want to do this anyway, and I will be able to catch a charge move here onto our Mewtwo, which is going to be the close combat, which is amazing for us, as we're going to see now the Dialga swapping into us. I really wish I had Focus Burst on my Mewtwo. Focus Burst would have been so much better for me. Yeah, I go for the Side Strike. Hindsight, most likely the wrong play because they're gonna go straight for their Iron Head here just one before I get to my next charge move. Should have went for the Shadow Ball instead first, but I can still go ahead and go into my Buzzwole here. I should be able to still take one charge move. I'm going to hope that my Dialga are going to be able to sweep end game here. As you're going to see now the Mewtwo coming in. We can go for one lunge. This is going to be very decent for us as we're going to get the Mewtwo out of here. Do around half of the opponent's health. They're going to go back into their Zacian. We have to shield up anything that's coming our way here right now. Let's take a look at this one. Iron Head coming in. Going to get the shield. We're going to have to shield up as well here. It's going to be the close combat from the opponent, as they're going to be able to definitely get to another one. I just have to hope that they don't get to another one after this one before I can go for an Iron Head here. Let's see, can we reach the Iron Head in time? We cannot, and this kind of seals the deal. There's nothing I can really do here. I have to try to farm them all the way down with my Buzzwole, and sadly, of course, this will not work out. Just barely. If I actually was able to farm them all the way down, the Mewtwo would have went down for one lunge, so it would have been an interesting one here. But let's take a look at the next game. We're going to see Giratina in the lead. Interesting enough there, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for yeah, most likely a Side Strike. You might think, oh, why do you not go for the Shadow Ball here? Two Side Strikes going to be able to knock out the opponent as well, while one Shadow Ball is not enough. Here we see a lot of lag as well. They're gonna go for the Shadow Ball, which is not really ideal for us, but you saw like me. In general, like here we connection, it's honestly so bad. You see it even here. It's double speed, which makes it all look way less worse than it is because it doubles the frame rate as well for the video, but honestly, right now the game state is so bad for me. Like, I have so often reconnection. I'm just standing still while my opponent is able to just knock me out. It is so annoying to play right now. It is just not, yeah, it's not really a lot of fun to play right now in my opinion. I don't know if it's the same for you. If it's the same for you, let me know in the comment section. I think it's just an Android issue. I don't think most people for iOS really have the issue, but here we're going to get completely walled by this opponent's Excadrill. Is going to be a good game there. There is nothing I can do about this one, as they can go ahead, go for a charge move. It's going to be the drill run, and I can just, yeah, forfeit this one here with no shielding and whatever. We're going to see here the Solgaleo in the lead. This is actually a pretty decent one, as I can go ahead and go for one Shadow Ball, but I feel like I think I completely misplay this game here. Going to be an interesting one. We see the Iron Head coming through, which you're going to be able to now counter pretty easily, as you see now a Kyurem coming in. So far so okay, as we're going to be able to get out our Buzzwole against a Pokemon that you can actually deal with, which is very nice, because against Solgaleo you're going to have a little bit of an issue with this Pokemon, as you both yeah, are weak against the fast move as well as the charge move as well. In comes now though the Rayquaza, which is not really ideal for me either, and honestly I think I make a mistake here. I should have went into my yeah, I should have went most likely to my Mewtwo, I guess. Or did I make a mistake? I don't know. Actually maybe I didn't. But you're gonna see here the Solgaleo coming in. I'm waiting for them to throw one charge move here, because this will allow me to now swap out with the debuff already in there. And I'm gonna go for the bait, because I expected the opponent to wanting to keep this Pokemon alive here. And it turns out they don't really care about the Solgaleo, which is really bad for me, because now they can go ahead and go for one Psychic Fang. But in general, they're going to be in a range where, of course, I can knock them out with one Shadow Ball, but yeah, like now we're going to face up against the Rayquaza. I don't get to another charge move anymore. And I was really confused why they wanted to no shield there. But then I saw my HP on my Dialga and saw, okay, yeah, this is not going to work out against this opponent's Rayquaza because they have too much energy already, that they're going to be able to win this game here. Very unfortunately, if I went for the Shadow Ball, I would have been easily able to win this game. My own mistake, I guess, over-predicted the opponent, baited too much. I usually bait a little bit too often, I feel like. But here we're going to see the Draco Meteor coming in from the opponent. We're going to be able to shield this move up as we're going to see a Giratina coming in here right now. We can go for our Iron Head here and they're going to shield this move up as well, which is going to be very nice for us. As you can go ahead and go for the next charge move. When you see me here, so basically the animation going towards the bubbles just didn't appear at all for me and the bubble just started appearing out of nowhere. You see the lag is just, it is honestly what it's just even frustrating to see in 2x speed. Like if you want to see how it actually looks like, just go to the video speed, go back and go for like 0.5 speed and you see how it actually looks like, because it's even worse there. It is so wild how bad this game right now is. Reconnection. We're going to see here the Kyoko coming in. We're going to be able to have a matchup here that looks also insanely laggy. It's just not really nice. I cannot count the moves. I don't know if everything goes through like it should be. It just, honestly, yeah, cannot really recommend right now playing. I don't know what's wrong with the game. It is so bad. We're going to see the Giratina coming back in here. We're going to farm them all the way down. We can go ahead, go for one side strike here. As you're going to see, my opponent is going to decide to shield this move up, of course, but we're still going to be able to KO them through the shield. But honestly, like the lag is insane. We're going to see another very decent lead for us now as we're going to see the Dialga coming in. Finally, Buzzwole can just do its job, go straight for the superpower and just knock out the opponent's Dialga here. As you're going to see now, the opponent coming into their Dragonite. This is going to be an interesting one as well. You can go for the lunge, but of course, it's not going to be ideal for us either because they're going to have super effective moves against our own Dialga. So I don't really get to another charge move here. I can still go into my own. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe this was a mistake to go into my own Dialga here. I'm not 100% sure. Superpower coming through, going to get shielded. Of course, I can go for another one afterwards. It's going to be, of course, another superpower here, and we're going to see the Landorus coming in. I guess, yeah, I have to get rid of my Dialga somewhere. So, like, Landorus is a very decent matchup, has a very decent matchup against Dialga, of course, so we kind of were forced to do what we had to do here. But at least we're going to be able to go ahead and shield up the charge move. Stone Edge coming through. We can go for our own Side Strike here, and we have to go for our next Side Strike immediately afterwards, as you're going to have to knock out the opponent here, hopefully. But let's take a look what they're going to do here. They're going to go for the Stone Edge themselves. And we can go ahead and go for the Side Strike. Again, it looks so very laggy there, but we will be able to now knock them out. Can swap out into my own Dialga, and this Dragonite has no chance of winning this game, as we can go ahead and go for the Iron Head here on the CMP tie against the opponent, which was very fortunate for us. As you can take a look at the next and final game for today's video, we're going to see a Dialga in the lead. We can swap immediately into our own Dialga, going into the mirror here. Not really an ideal scenario for us either, but we're going to be able to go ahead and shield up the charge move. It's going to be the Draco Meteor. Now we have a ton of energy and we're gonna get out the Giratina, which is very decent for us again, as you're going to be able to go for an Iron Head here. They're going to let this move go through this time around, which is really bad for me. I have to kind of shield this move up now. And now we're really in a bad spot, because I have to farm them all the way down, and we're going to be able to do this, but it's still not really looking too good for us. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to go ahead and go most likely back into the Dialga. I can farm them down hopefully with my Buzzwole. Turns out they don't get to another charge move, and now it's Palkia in the back. And this is going to be amazing. And here we're going to see Buzzwole's power. The opponent has still 2 shields left, but we can just debuff the hell out of them, as we can just go ahead and get so much damage onto them. They can shield all the moves up if they want to. I don't really care too much. They have to go for another charge move here as well. In comes now the awkward heal. We still survive, but we sadly just barely don't get to the move there, which doesn't really matter too much, as we can go ahead, go for one Side Strike, go into our Dialga, knock them out with one charge move. And this is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Buzzwole was a lot of fun to play, actually. I think I actually went even better than 8 and 7, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. Like, this Pokemon definitely worked out pretty well for me. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.